I am here with Joseph Cervantes with the PDF Commercial Group out of Fremont, California. Joseph, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Brett. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And for our listeners and viewers getting to know you for the first time, would you give us a little bit more about your story and your current focus?
So my story is 20 years in real estate, mergers and acquisitions, business brokering, different developments here in the Silicon Valley and throughout Northern California. Our principal out of PDF is Paul Frank. He does a lot of dirt to disposition, a lot of companies that he's helped bring nationwide. I can't really say here on the interview, but definitely some notable names that we actually probably visit on a daily or weekly basis. So I'm proud to represent PDF here at this event today and in this interview. And we're excited to do a lot of things with you and what you're doing with capital gains tax and DSTs.
Excellent. And Joseph, take us back a little bit. You know, growing up, I'm curious who Joseph was, right? I believe we've all been given certain gifts to be blessing and help to others. What would you say one of those, one or two strengths you believe you were given, and how does that help how you help and bless your clients today?
I think it's more tenacity. I took on my first job at the age of 12, took on a paper route, did that for a few months, took over the other two paper routes in my neighborhood in Fremont, California. Was waking up at 4:15 in the morning, wrapping up over 200 papers, delivering them, and collecting every month from each of the customers. I like the customer service experience. I like the experience of business and commerce and how it helps others. But at the end of the day, I think it's really the relationships we build and really making a difference in our craft.
Absolutely. And the real estate market's in kind of a shift right now. It's kind of a change, or the economy that is. Are you seeing that same shift in Fremont and the Bay Area? What's kind of your take on the current status? And we're recording this in August of 2022 right now. What's your take on interest rates, maybe inflation, commercial properties, values, seller sentiment at this point?
It's funny you mention it. And I kind of want to go back to some cliches. The market's cyclical, as we've seen. I've seen it for the last 20 plus years. If you go beyond that, just even, within our lifetime, how many cycles we've been through. In fact, I was talking to a client where I'm listing their business for sale, and they asked me the same exact question. And what I told them in that, these market changes, the only thing we can really do is adapt. Transactions will still take place. So it's just a matter of, being on the ocean, having your sailboat. What can you control? Your sails. The wind's going to shift. And with our clients, they look to us to guide them. So just say it's a journey through, from here to say Hawaii. How are we going to guide our clients to get to their destination, being Hawaii?
That's a great point. Yeah, it's, being the guide and being the one to help navigate through the waters, because it's not just the changing; it's the business plan to execute with the changes. And so having ways to solve problems and challenges is really important. Do you feel like there's a buyer kind of a pause out there right now, a wait and see mentality or thought, or what's your overall thoughts on just buyers right now?
I think buyers are, in my opinion, are exercising prudence, and I'm not talking analysis paralysis types of prudence, but more let's gather some information, some intel, and let's make some decisions here, and going back to, what you mentioned as us as guides, is they're looking for us, looking to us to give them a direction on where to go, what to do, and putting their prudence on us to help them make those decisions.
Absolutely. Can you talk maybe about a recent transaction? What was the deal? What was the seller's motivation, buyer's motivation, and how you helped to bring it all together?
So one of the key business moves I helped with was a client wanting to transition from his portfolio from mainly residential multifamily to purchasing a shopping center. Yeah. So he was quite concerned because it was first time purchasing a shopping center here in Pleasanton, California. And when he ran the numbers, he started to realize that the vacancy rate on, say, the commercial center, he can go, 40, 50%, where on his multifamily, he can go only 10 or 20%. So even though the appreciation wasn't there, the risk was a lot lower.
Wow, that's really great. So one was 50%,
Yeah.
and then, or one was 40, 50%, and the other one was 10 to 20 before his income and expenses kind of really got out of sync there.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. And was it because it was a grocery anchored center? Was it like a really strong tenant, or what's kind of the circumstances of that particular retail center?
Well, that particular retail center had small shops, like a barber, a salon, a retail store, and an art studio. But what was interesting to know was with all those tenants in his property, just say if half of those went away, he would still be able to sustain.
Right, and those tenants sound like they're pretty, let's say, Amazon resistant, right? They're not something that's just going to be, you can't gobble up a nail salon or these different things. So that probably helped him give him some confidence. How did the financing go? And did he do like a 1031 exchange into the property? How did that go?
He did a 1031 exchange from a property I sold him, the multifamily, out of Redwood City. Went into the exchange, and then I asked for some seller financing. Which is currently he's refinancing.
Fantastic. So so structuring and knowing about seller financing, 1031 exchanges, obviously cash flows and all of those things, navigating and guiding your client is so important.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what's your favorite part about, commercial real estate investing or brokering? What do you like most about it?
I like the deal. I like knowing that we can go into a deal and kind of be the subject matter experts. And if what we don't know, we have people like yourself, people within our organization where we can ask for guidance or ask for help or bring them into the deal to make it work. So I like the spirit of the collaboration, this kind of mastermind kind of
team approach.
Team approach.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So to that point, sometimes 1031 exchanges don't work out, right?
Yeah.
And we as brokers want to try to do that as best as we can, but other times there's maybe prices are too high or interest rates are too high, right? And the deal just doesn't fit together. So, part of capital gains tax, which is our values, is to offer the Deferred Sales Trust as an alternative or a rescue for failing 1031 exchanges. And so I'm curious, what's your thoughts on the Deferred Sales Trust and how that can help your clients create and preserve more wealth moving forward?
Yeah. So a lot of my clients, they're concerned about it because they don't understand it. But as we've done our due diligence with DSTs, we see it as a viable solution with merit. And it's about educating the client and, going to you as that SME, subject matter expert. We really appreciate it because I know we've had some conversations within the PDF group and your organization, and we're looking forward to educating our clients with you on their options for DST.
Yeah, and to that point too, for some who don't know that or the nuance, that a 1031 exchange only works for investment real estate. It doesn't work for business transactions or cryptocurrency exits or primary homes or carried interest or artwork or NFTs. And so talk about the opportunity for those to invest into commercial real estate through other assets that they're selling, like a tech company in Silicon Valley, and to defer that tax and to invest into opportunities like a shopping center or multifamily properties.
So to your point, I just had the conversation today. It was a business I'm putting up for sale. So we do business opportunity sales as well as mergers and acquisitions. We have to do a UCC and kind of see which assets are carrying a note on it. The DST can be used for that, that portion of those assets in the sale of the business, which gives us an opportunity to really help out the client, and also help the buyer in using your vehicle and educate them how the DST can benefit them in regards to not paying an enormous fee up front and kind of spacing it out. And where I am right now is I'm educating myself through being affiliated with you, so I can educate my clients on all their options. Like right now, we're in CL here in Berkeley, and they work with a lot of artists. The artists are interested on how they can sell their artwork. Yeah, and I just came back from a trip in Europe and bought some artwork, so I'm going to have to talk to you on how I can turn that into an NFT and sell it one day and use the DST solution.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and those little nuances are so important. And the key is, I like the way you put SME, the subject matter expert, right?
Yeah.
And the key is to collaborate and work as a team to solve the problem. And I always think of it like in a Rubik's Cube, and every client, every situation is a little bit different, different colors on different sides and a little bit out of order. Yeah. And part of our job is just to help them imagine what a congruent, all colors on all sides connected, right, looks like. Yeah. And then the next question is, well, how are we going to get there, right? How are we going to make those shifts? And it's by bringing in these subject matter experts to solve that problem, whether it be capital gains tax, estate tax, whether it be a 1031 exchange, whether it be a Delaware statutory trust or deferred sales trust. All of these things are the challenges, and then you have the solutions. And sometimes it's the combination of one or two or both. But having that guide, having that subject matter expert to help you, this is part of why we love what we do. And so that being said, are you ready for the lightning round?
Yes, I am.
Okay, knowing what you know now, Joseph, you can go back to your 25-year-old self. What's the one golden nugget you make sure to tell yourself to do?
I would say, seek out people that are focused on the solutions. Never give up. There were times where I just paused. And if I look at it now, if I didn't take the pause and I just sought out, people like yourself or different professional subject matter experts, I would have did the workaround a lot faster. I would have helped my clients in different situations where, I would have also grown as a professional. So tenacity, education, and surrounding yourself with the right people.
Excellent. Question number 2. What's the number one book you've recommended or gifted the most in the past year?
That's a really good one. I would have to say, it's one that I've been gifted, that I'm planning to gift myself, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Yeah, it's the Christian marketplace. So I realize too is no matter where you stand in your life, the principles do matter. What you stand for does matter. What I tell my clients is something that I would tell my own children. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I were to give them advice in regards to life or business.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Love it. The Christian marketplace. Love it. Question 3. What are you most curious about right now?
I'm most curious on how the blockchain, crypto, tokenization is going to change the world with more transparency, accountability, and really get to a place of decentralizing. Where we as professionals in what we do are able to transact at a higher level without a lot of interference, and dependency on fiat currencies.
I love it. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. It's rapidly changing, and excited to see the future.
Yeah.
Second to last question: what's the number one leadership quote or theme that you strive to live by?
It's anonymous, so it's one I took on in high school. It was a quote I read somewhere, and it goes like this. Any spectator can criticize, but it takes skill and dedication to play the game.
I love it. What was your favorite sport growing up, or what did you like to do?
I loved football, and I loved watching basketball. And I loved being at a baseball game, hanging out, and just enjoying the crowd and the game. Okay,
we got a couple quick words. Who's your favorite basketball team?
Warriors.
Who's your favorite basketball player?
Steph Curry.
Awesome, I love it. Favorite football team?
49ers.
Yes, very good shape here. Favorite baseball team?
Giants.
The Giants. Okay, very good. And all right, so that kind of concludes it. We'll finish with this last question, Joseph, and then you can remind everyone where they can find you. So what's the one habit that you try to practice, right, to stay centered in your values? and to stay encouraged to charge forward to reach new heights?
It's something I've taken on. Listening to Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins is having transparency. And when the level of transparency is what I do with forward facing with you or our clients, I'm also practicing that when no one's looking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the integrity of in front of the camera, behind the camera, with clients, with family, all of it, just the integrity of transparency, no matter where you're at, you are who you are.
Yes, Brett.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Joseph, it's been more than a pleasure getting to know you a little bit more today, and I know our audience is going to appreciate it. And I want to encourage you to keep using your gifts of tenacity and also humility to be open-minded enough to connect and look at new ideas and new ways to solve problems to help your clients create and preserve more wealth. For our listeners or for the viewers, if they want to get in touch with you, what's the best place for them to find you?
You can find me at brokersiliconvalley.com as well as pdf-usa.com.
Excellent. Thanks so much for watching. And if you want to learn about the Deferred Sales Trust, you can go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com.